Eerie tales from the darkness.
The Tale of the Spoiled. Ricky Levins appeared as any 34-year-old single guy working in a comic book store, except he didn't have a job, no girlfriend, lives with his parents, and has no real direction in life. Still, he was content, and he was the only one who was. His parents had longed for him to figure out where, or for that matter, what he was going to do when they passed on. And every time he always had the same answer. Move into your room, of course. A snarky remark that always pinched the nerve in his mother's neck. I'm serious, Ricky. For God's sake, you're 34 years old. His mother would state. When are you gonna grow up? I'm still figuring out what I want to do with my life. He replied, slurping peanut butter off his fingers, standing in the kitchen in only his underwear and socks, with a hole in the heel. You're 34 years old. You should have figured it out by now. Some of us take a little time, Mother. We can't all be as lucky as you and marry into a rich family. His mother was taken back. You could imagine the dagger she was shooting at Ricky. Are you calling me a gold digger? She asked, scolding him a look not even death could mimic. How did you get that from what I just said? Ricky replied, confused by her question, still cleaning his fingers. His mother took a step forward, and with one strike, sent the jar of peanut butter flying across the room, landing on the other side of the kitchen, spilling all over the tile flooring. Don't you dare talk to me like that, she instructed, her long bony finger firmly pointing at him. You have no idea how much I've had to sacrifice for this family. Ricky, starting to take his mother's temperament a little more serious, started backing away as she moved in closer. Who takes care of you when you're sick? Me. Ricky tried to speak, but was cut off every time. I'm not finished. Who cleans the house when your father wants to entertain his ungrateful and manipulative mother? Me. Wait, you don't like grandmother? His mother lost her train of thought for a second as she looked into Ricky's eyes, instantly being reminded that he is, for lack of a better term, special. No, of course I do. It's just sometimes she can be a little difficult. My point is, I do a lot for this family, and it's about time everyone around here appreciates it. I'm sorry, Mom, Ricky replied, lowering his tone, purging a submissive disposition to gain his mother's sympathy. Honestly, I didn't mean anything by what I said. She relaxed her shoulders and caressed the side of his face with an eerie, gentle nature. It's quite all right. Now go on upstairs and wash up. We're having stew tonight. Okay, Mom, Ricky replied, leaning and kissing her on the cheek gently, as a faint smile formed on Ricky's face. His mother left to the kitchen. Ricky, by now, gleaming with a devious smile laid across his smug face, knowing he himself is a master manipulator when it comes to playing his mother. At dinner, the entire family was gathered around the table. If you didn't know any better from the looks of it, you'd swear the people sitting at that table were all strangers to one another. Ricky's father, a broad coal miner with the patience of a hummingbird, chewed his food against the front of his teeth like they were machines shredding metal into pieces, focused only on the newspaper in his other hand. His mother, cheerful with a pleasant smile on her face, nudged his father's arm, trying to get his attention. All he could muster was a mere grunt, not even setting the paper down. His mother waited a second before she nudged him again. This time he slammed the paper down in a huff, staring harshly at his mother, clearly unaware of why she was bothering him. "What is it?" "I'm trying to read the paper over here," his father whipped, grabbing the spoon and shoving another helping of mashed potatoes in his mouth, still chewing the spoonful from the last. His mother cleared her throat, ushering him to look over at Ricky, who was just sitting there, walking his index and middle fingers through his gravy as if it were the legs of an action figure. His father watched for a moment, opening his mouth to speak but instead scoffed. He then looked back at the mother, who insisted, with a stern expression on her face, for him to try a little harder. "So, Ricky, how was your day? Do anything fun? Like look for a job?" his father asked hesitantly, still holding the newspaper in front of him, barely able to see Ricky. Ricky didn't even hear his father. He had now taken his other hand and was walking another set of fingers alongside the others, leaping them all around the plate, leaving trails of gravy and mashed potatoes on the table. His father waited for a response, then looked over at his mother again, shrugging his shoulders, unsure what he's to do. She insisted he try once again. This caused an exhausted sigh from the father as he set the paper down on the table to actually look directly at Ricky. "Ricky!" his father shouted. Ricky jumped in his seat, mashed potatoes splattering all over, including onto his father's shirt. Ricky had a dumbfounded expression sprayed across his face. "Huh? Oh, sorry. You just surprised me." "What did you do today?" his father asked, wiping the food off his work shirt. "Oh, woke up around 11, ate a bowl of frosted cakes. Well, 2 bowls. By the way, Mom, we're out of cereal. Then I took a nap, woke up and, yeah, here we are." His father was silent. The steam was practically boiling underneath the skin. His father was already annoyed to even have to ask. Now with the reply, he knew this was a conversation he couldn't wait to be over. "So overall, it was a good day," his father stated sarcastically. "Yeah, I'd say so," Ricky replied. His father shook his head and raised the newspaper back in front of his face, covering his disappointment. Ricky noticed his father's look. "What?" Ricky asked, directing it towards his mom and dad. "Did I do something?" Did you do something? His father replied with great intensity, crumbling the newspaper in his hand, shaking with angst. I just said that, Ricky replied foolishly. How could you do anything when you sleep till noon and mooch off your mother and I? I would say like 11:45 is the latest. That's it. I've had it. I've had it with you. Your lazy, mooching, worthless piece of... Language, dear. His mother interrupted. You think I'm smelly? Ricky asked. It's hard to root for this guy when he asks the obvious questions. Am I right, listeners? Starting tomorrow, you're looking for a job. I don't know. I think a job would stun my creativity. I'll tell you what else will stun your creativity. Sleeping behind the Chinese buffet with the other street bums if you don't go out there and get a job. Ricky sat there stunned. He looked around the room as his mother sat in her chair and continued to eat, making no eye contact. And his father, after taking a deep breath, sat back down in his chair, reading the newspaper once more. A deadly silence followed. The only sound would come from the clinking of utensils against the glass plates. Did you mean the buffet on Pierce Lane or the one behind the old video store? Ricky inquired. Pieces of potato hung from his fingertips. His father lowered the newspaper. Ricky had seen that look on his father's face before. He knew his mouth should remain shut. The next day, it was a smooth spring morning, a brisk chill in the air, cool enough for a hoodie. Ricky wore his best outfit, a hazel blue-ish corduroy suit. He wore it proud. He strutted down Main Street like there was a cool jazz theme song playing in the background. The suit was eye-catching and turned heads. Well, mainly because people couldn't believe they made corduroy suits. Everywhere he went, "No, sorry, we're not hiring at this time." Ricky felt defeated, but yet he felt like he had accomplished a lot today. So he decided to reward his hard work, as he called it. He entered Boyle's Banana Bonanza ice cream extravaganza. Yeah, say that 10 times fast. Ricky gawked at the robotic monkey posted outside the store, seeming to do some sort of choreographed dance. He smirked at it, almost to mock the toy. Although it appeared animatronic, Ricky felt some sort of empathy towards the robotic creature. Shaking off his feelings, he continued towards the shop. As Ricky entered the ice cream parlor, "Hey, Nance," he called out happily, waving like an idiot at Nancy Boyle, who was less enthusiastic to see Ricky. "Hey, Ricky. I see you're sporting your summer's best," Nancy replied, humorous, restocking the tubs of ice cream. "You know it, girl," Ricky replied, flashing finger guns at Nancy. She couldn't help but roll her eyes. She then stood up, grabbed the ice cream scooper. "What can I get you?" "A scoop of double chocolate with walnuts and banana sprinkles on top, please," Ricky replied excitedly. I see you're in a good mood. I just applied for 3, count them, 3 different jobs. Wow. Any leads? Nah. They all said I didn't meet the requirements. Apparently I have to have a license to fix a car. I've changed the tire on my bike before. I think I can manage a car. Nancy raised her eyebrows, scooping the ice cream into a cone. It's too bad we aren't hiring, Nancy said, jokingly. Yeah, Ricky replied. Then, it occurred to him. Yeah, what? She asked, almost as if she doesn't understand the question. That's it. I'll work here. It'll be perfect. Hang out here all day and eat all the ice cream I want? Oh my God, why didn't I think of that? Nancy, you're a genius. Whoa, I was just saying if we were hiring, which we aren't, by the way. Oh, come on, Nance. Can't you just talk to your pops and persuade him? He loves me. Ricky, he can't stand you. Then tell him I'll work for free. That's against the law. Then tell him I'll accept payments of ice cream. That way, you save money. But we'll be losing product, which in turn we would have to spend money on more ice cream. Aw, come on. There's gotta be something you can do. I'm sorry, Ricky. Really. If there was anything I could do... I'll stand on a corner, twirl a sign, for God's sakes. I'll do anything. In that moment, an idea popped into Nancy's head. We do have an open position. Ricky's eyes bulged with intrigue. Tell me. Moments later, Ricky is led to the back of the store, through a few dank and cold hallways, barely lit and reeking of some sort of odor that was too strong to identify. Oh, what's that smell? Ricky asked, covering his nose. You get used to it, Nancy replied, casual. So what's the job exactly? Marketing. Ricky got excited. Yes, I can do that. I know how to market. Ricky and Nancy continued their stroll down the creepy tunnels that seemed to go on forever. Ricky going on about ominous things in the past, a mechanism he used when he started to get nervous. Are we there yet? He asked. I'm starting to get hungry. Just a little bit further. As the two finally arrived, Ricky began to get a very strange feeling. You know, on second thought, I changed my mind, he said, turning his body around to head back. Whoa, what's the rush? Nancy asked, grabbing onto his arm. It's just, this place gives me the creeps, and... Ricky tried to answer, but was cut off despite his efforts. Aren't you tired of being a mooch? Nancy said. Who said I was a mooch? Did my parents call you? Nancy chuckled. Everyone in town knows. It's no secret, Ricky. Yeah, well, call me whatever you want, but I'm not staying down in this creepy friggin' tunnel any longer. I guess your mom was right. Nancy shouted. Ricky stopped, thought about what she had just said, and turned back to face her. What are you talking about? Your mom talks to my mom all the time about you. She does? About what? Oh, you know, just stuff, Nancy replied, casually manipulating Ricky's curiosity. What sort of stuff? He asked. Forget it. Nothing. Forget I said anything. Ricky approached Nancy, this time defeated and almost furious, as he was almost positive his mother said anything supportive of him. Tell me. Nancy smirked once again, just how she can't wait for her pathetic son to grow up and move out, so she can finally start enjoying her life. Ricky lowered his head to hear that the woman who claimed to love him no matter what hates him. He didn't believe Nancy. No way. She wants me to move out? Nancy leaned in closer. Come on. You're dying to prove everyone wrong. Especially your parents. I mean, I suppose, Ricky replied, but was cut off by Nancy jerking him, pulling him into the dark abyss of the tunnels. A few days later, the annual town fair was about to commence. Ricky's parents strolled through the town square, gleefully greeting others as they passed by. Hey Ed, Shirley, nice to see you again. Bob and Harry. Such a lovely couple, Ricky's mom said as she held onto her husband's arm with a pin-up smile. A voice came over the loudspeaker. Gather around, everyone. It's time for our main attraction. Ricky's parents made their way towards a stage in the middle of the event. A huge black curtain hung from above. Suddenly, out from behind the curtain, Nancy Boyle sprung into view, wearing a yellow top hat, shirt, vest, pants, and shoes. Step on up, folks. Get a good look at our brand new mascot, she announced, parading around. With those words, the curtain pulled back, revealing something so unbelievable. Not even Ricky's parents could believe their eyes. The entire town gathered around. There, on display for everyone to see, a figure at first glance resembled the monkey on display outside the store from earlier. Only there's something different. As the crowd grew closer to get a better look. And there it was, covered in gorilla-like skin, with a long metal rod stuck in its back, was Ricky, transformed into the animatronic creature, plastered with a Joker-like creepy smile on display for all to see, motioning back and forth with a sign stuck to its hands. The crowd cheered in excitement. It seems like Ricky had finally done something with his life.